Welcome to the Bronco Podcast.
Where everyone gets a voice.
I'm Maddie.
And I'm Jake.
Today we have two special guests with us.
Mr. Loria and Mr. Gillespie.
Boom.
Hello.
So, we have a few questions for you guys. How many years have you been teaching?
You go first, Mr. Loria.
2020.
That's it?
20.
That's all you got? I started in 1998 when I was 23 years old. Actually, I've been here 26 years, but I've been teaching for almost 27.
That was during World War II.
That means Mr. Gillespie wins. He's been teaching more years during World War II. And these kids will believe it because they probably don't know when World War II was because of their social studies teacher.
Yeah, that's it.
Next question is, what is your best or funny teacher story?
I don't know how you could possibly pick a story because there's just funny stories that happen every day.
Well, Mr. Gillespie's favorite story is he had this teacher that came into his room, another teacher that would come in with her kids. And one day I was on my conference hour, and I took her phone when she wasn't looking. And then she struggled for the next 15 minutes to try and find her phone.
She was as addicted to her phone as the students are today. That was probably 10 years ago. I remember that. Remember that fun.
Okay, the next question is the time you realized you wanted to be a teacher.
I just remember, I always liked school, and I liked the school schedule, and I had teachers in my family. So when I actually decided I was going to be a teacher was when I was filling out my college application to go to Western Michigan is when I decided I'm going to be a teacher. But I think I always kind of knew that's what I was going to do.
Well, I have a degree in business and accounting, so I wasn't planning on being a teacher. But then Mrs. Loria decided she was going to be a teacher. And so I thought, I know lots of the teachers that I had in school. They were both teachers, and they had the summer off, and their life seemed pretty good. So I said, well, you're not going to have the summer off without me. So I went and got my teacher certification.
There you
What was your best year or hour?
My favorite hour this year is 6th hour.
Me too. I don't know what the coincidence is, how we have such a great 6 hours this year.
Really? It's your planning hour.
Exactly.
All right. You figured out our secret.
Okay. The next question is how you guys got so close as friends.
We're not friends. Sorry, Mr. Lloyd. No, I'm just kidding. I think this happens with a lot of teachers and it'll happen in any job. I think when you work with people and you spend so much time together. I couldn't stand Mr. Loria for a long time because he was a Buckeye fan. It was obnoxious. But then I got used to it. I think it's just from working together for all these years. But really, we were together in 7th grade for a while, and then the last several years I was down here. But then they moved Mr. Loria back down here, so everybody thinks we're besties. But yeah, no, we are friends. But I think it's just from working together.
Next up is, what's your...
Mr. Loria didn't answer that question. No, you're good.
What was your favorite sport to coach?
For me, it was football.
See, you're going to make me pick. I'm not going to pick. Because I've coached football, or not, I haven't coached football at all. I've coached basketball and cross country for 25 years each. And now I've coached in track. And I love all those sports equal. They're very different. So I like them for different reasons, but I'm not picking.
This is mainly towards Mr. Gillespie, but what's your favorite part about having a class pet?
Oh, George? I don't know. I was always hugely against having a class pet for years, and I'll tell you why. My first year here, different teachers had pets. Mr. Hughes had a snake, I remember. But the principal wanted me to have a pet, so they gave me a rat. This rat's name was Cheerio, and it would bite kids. And it was horrible. And then, so I didn't have a pet for a long time. Well, we had one of those things, hamsters that would roll around. So that was good. And then I had a hermit crab, which I loved because it was low maintenance. So I haven't had pets for a long time. And then I got George last year from Cooper. And I love George almost as much as I love the stuffed deer. Because they don't, you know what I love about pets? They don't complain. They don't whine, they don't complain. George is awesome.
They don't go on their phone. They don't have to go to the bathroom to vape. Pets are great.
Pets are great.
If you ever had to teach some other class, what would it be?
Not science. Math.
I would say, I don't know how you teach math to kids. I teach social studies. How hard can it be? Mr. Horia does it.
Exactly.
Do you guys hang out like in your summer or off time or not really?
Golf together a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot, but we do. He's stopped by my house before when he's driving driver's ed. So,
What's your best basketball stories?
I have again. It's so hard to tell stories.
My best basketball story
You can tell stories.
was 3 years ago when I called timeout and we were down probably by 30 points, and they had a really, really good girl on their team that played AAU, and we only had 7 girls on our team, and I held up my whiteboard and I wrote the number 32 on it. And I showed it to all the girls and I said, and they looked at it and they're like, "We don't have a 32. I'm like, "That's right. Let's quit throwing her the ball."
That's good. See, when you've coached for 25 years, it's hard to pick out a story because there's so many things every year.
What's your favorite class, 6th or 7th?
Oh, 6th or 7th grade? Mm-hmm. I'll say this. I taught 7th grade for 20 years, and I really liked 7th grade because you would hear how obnoxious the 6th graders were, but then they would come to 7th grade and they wouldn't be as obnoxious. And then Mr. Curl asked me to go to 6th grade, and I thought, oh, this would be great. And 6th graders were obnoxious. And now I'm back to 7th grade, and it seems like they're just bigger versions of 6th graders. So I feel like I'm more of a 7th grade teacher if I had to choose.
What is your guys' least favorite thing about each other?
He's a Buckeye fan. I mean, is there anything worse possible? He's going to say my hair. He's jealous of my hair.
He's a Michigan fan, but he's the most realistic Michigan fan I
I'm
know.
a bad Michigan fan.
Yeah, he's not an annoying Michigan fan. Not like Mr. Weisdorfer.
Yeah, he's an annoying fan.
We have no more questions.
That's how we're going to end?
Yeah.
In front of Mr. Wise. I
Oh,
like
we
it.
can
On that note,
Thank you for watching.
And thank you to our guests for being on the podcast.
it was our pleasure. Anytime.
This podcast is brought to you by the Weisdorfer Repair Shop. We'll put it back together, but there may be extra parts.